sometimes trying to find a chance to film, a little difficult. Even more so when this is the second try you've done when you first thought you successfully did it. Welcome to the chaos. Hi, welcome to the Palace of Yarn and Thread. My name is Amanda, and I am coming at you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this is take 2 of the record because, well, things don't always go as you plan. So here we are. If you are a returning guest, thank you for spending some more time with me. I do appreciate you. If you are new to my channel, this is my little special place of the internet where I share all the crafty little shenanigans that I'm getting into at this point. And it evolves. And there are side quests, of which we had 2. So buckle in, grab yourself a nice drink, your project that you might be working on, maybe a snack, and sit back and amuse yourselves with my shenanigans. So, as I said, my name is Amanda. I am coming from Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was an eventful spring-like weekend. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, spring-like weekend for Oklahoma is Tornado Alley. And we had multiple tornadoes touch down Friday, Saturday night? Friday night, yeah. And so we were under tornado warnings a lot that evening. It was delightful. Unfortunately, it did claim the life of 2 people here in Oklahoma, and my thoughts and prayers do go out to their family, and I hope that they can find the solace that they need to continue. Also, anybody who is been affected by the damage, I hope you are okay and it's easily rebounded. Yeah. That being said, I want to take a quick housekeeping moment and say if you are a returning visitor and you have not yet subscribed, please take a moment and tap on that subscription button. It would help me out greatly, and I do appreciate it. Also, don't forget to like and comment because it helps me know that what I'm doing is worth it or amusing to someone and gives them a few moments to themselves to be able to just forget their own life problems and focus on mine, if you will. Anyway, with that being said, we are going to jump into it because, as I mentioned, we had some side quests this weekend. Well, this week, last week and a half, however long it's been. We're going to just dive on in and we're going to start with finished objects, of which I have a few of differing varieties. As you all know, and if you don't know, I do run a farmer's market. I also run a small business, and my small business is a craft business. Therefore, anything I create, I sell. That being said, one of my most popular items are hacky sacks, and so I have 4 hacky sacks finished for the inventory for the market. And so here they are, just hacky sacks. I didn't mean to push them all into your face. I apologize. Anyway, just hacky sacks, nothing abnormal. They kind of both look the same. Like these two, for whatever reason, look almost identical, which is weird. You can kind of see where the skein was transitioning. So you almost can tell how this all worked out. Anyway, 4 hacky sacks down. Go me. All of those have to go back into the craft room. Don't know where to put them for now. So the first try I did of this filming, I actually did not have any more than those finished objects. Since then, since I discovered today that I did not film properly, I have some other finished objects. Not complete ones. Well, actually, they're all partial finished objects, and let me explain. So in the past, I've been working on a pair of socks. My goal was a pair of socks every month. Well, February came and went, and I just now have 1 full sock. This is just a plain vanilla sock. and the colorway is from Sock Obsession Yarns in the colorway Fairy Witchcraft, which I adore. Yeah, nothing much to it, just basic sock. But it's finished. Ends are woven in, just needs to be blocked. But I don't block it until it's time for the other one, which is a whip. So that one's a partial finished object. Another partial finished object that I have is part of my side quest. Yeah, part of my side quest. So let's dive into one said side quest before we go much further. I mentioned last week that I made a purchase. Well, that purchase came this past Monday, and I opened it, and it took me 2 full days to figure out how to use it. I'm still not 100% on how to use it. It's hit and miss, but I got myself an electric eel wheel Nano 2.1. It is purple and adorable. Like, it's so tiny. So yes, you are getting to see a partial, a work in progress. We'll discuss that more in a moment. But this is my electric eel wheel Nano. As you can see, they're super tiny. Like, they're like smaller than my head. Like, super tiny. But well, that's side quest one. We'll get into that in a moment. But with this side quest comes the joy of trying to figure out the different techniques it takes to spin on a wheel, even an e-spinner, versus a drop spindle, which will be a part of my whips in a second. So I do have some special wool that I shared last time that I was looking to do, but I didn't want to go straight into that on something I wasn't fully sure on the techniques and such. So I got myself some just basic roving off of, I think, Amazon. If I buy the nice stuff, I'm going to get it from Stitchin, because that's what we do. But when you're just trying to learn and you want something decent but not, super expensive, yeah, you're going to go for something affordable. So I got some roving from Amazon, as I mentioned, and I don't know the name of the colorway, but it's just your basic merino. But I got a full bobbin. I digress. I'm trying to skip forward when I shouldn't. We will discuss said issues, because I think for all the videos that I have watched on how to spin on an e-spinner, how to spin at all, things to know, learning the techniques, learning the terms, learning the tensions, learning all of it. I don't think there's a lot of things talked about when it comes to certain frustrations, if you will. As I mentioned, it took me 2 full days to figure out how to even work this thing. But I continued, and I succeeded, and I got not the, I mean, it's not bad consistency wise, but I got some overspins, and that's what we're going to discuss in a moment. But it practice yarn is practice yarn, and this is one single. It is a partial finished object as well. So let's dive a little further into this side quest, if you will. So one of the things that you have to learn to get used to on an e-spinner is your tension and how the uptake and everything is. It's a lot of going back and forth between playing with your tension and playing with your speed, playing with your tension and playing with your speed, making sure your leader is secure and tight but not going anywhere. It's a lot. So some of the things I did for all of this is I did it came with a cotton for leader thread. I got rid of it. I got a different cotton that was a little more grippy, if you will. It's on there. I have it on both of them, actually. And so that's one thing I did. I'm in the electric eel wheel spinner Facebook group, That is a fantastic group, by the way. So many helpful people. So many helpful people. I love it because I've had to post a lot of questions. It took me 2 days to figure out how to get it to uptake. Finally got it to uptake, and then I was trying to practice on how to add roving to a break, like if it comes apart, because that's the biggest thing I fight with on a drop spindle. And so I was trying to figure that out. Well, got this bobbin full. I mean, you can see that I'm not like there's some chunky pieces. There's some overspins towards the end. You can really tell where the overspins were. And I was able to ask for some guidance on that, and there's some tips that I was provided in regards to speed. So I'm going to see if I can maybe slow that down, and maybe that'll help with that. Because this bobbin, unfortunately, is full of overspin. Thankfully, it's just practice, so I'm not mad at it. I'm giving myself grace and mercy because it is a practice spin. It was specifically designated for practice, and that's where I'm going with that. Well, when I went from one bobbin to the other, I was like, yes, I'm great. I'll put the new bobbin on. I had put all my bobbins together. They're in my sewing box. I could not get this new one to uptake. It would not feed. Save anything I did. I made marks on here. Let's see that little black mark right there where my tension needs to be set at because it was working well for me. I marked the speed. I'm gonna have to remark it because it's doing an overspin and I'm not liking that. I could not get it to start uptake. And I'm sitting there looking. I even asked in the group, and I'd done all the things that they were recommending. I'd watched the video from Electric Eel Wheel to find out what they recommend. I tried their tips, didn't work. And then I'm sitting there looking at this bobbin against what was this bobbin at that time. And I noticed there was something different. This little notch, I didn't have it on that one. I had put them all together, but I had taken two of them and put both the flat side on one of them and then both the notched side on the other one. And so I had to take that apart, put it on here. No problems. So just food for thought. Make sure you put in the right sides of your bobbin together. That'll be a real good help. I do recommend maybe marking where your good tension is, like where you know where to keep it. Maybe your speed as well. That way you can keep it. I mean, and the Nano has a cord that has this on-off switch because this doesn't have a foot pedal or anything like that. But you have an on-off switch. I wish there was a little bit more length on from it. Let me show what I'm saying because sorry for the wobble. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. I'm so sorry. This is where it plugs into the machine, and then this is your cord. This is your thing. And of course, you have all of this. But this does not sit very far from the machine, and I'm right-handed, so that means I'm going to be drafting with my right hand. That's just what I do. And I hold the roving with my left. Well, if I need to stop, I don't want to let go of the draft just to be able to turn it off. And it's not very far. See, it doesn't even go to the end of the machine. And so it kind of sits out here, and you gotta hold and then reach over. They're always evolving their machines. I'm new, and I'm grain of salt. So, but everything I was doing on that second bobbin, that was on me because I put the bobbins together wrong, and I've corrected that. And as you can see, it was loading just fine. My next troubleshoot is the speed so that I can fix the over winding or the over spinning. But let's talk about the roving, actually, the wool. As I mentioned, I got it off of Amazon. Okay, no big deal. It's pretty. It's kind of this gray background with some spots of pink and purple. And I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. So there's some of the pink, or some of the blue. Sorry, pink and blue. And there's some of the blues. Here's the problem with this. when you spin it up, it's very hard to see the pink and blues. It kind of all just mutes to gray, which I'm not mad about. But I wanted some more than pink and blue. Very, very Sleeping Beauty of it, if you will. So I was thinking, okay, well, let me try my hand at just get some singles, all of this, and then I'm gonna also, I got another one of a different color, and I want to see if I can get a cool little barber pole out of it, even though I know everything is overspun. We're just practicing, guys. So I'm hoping by the end of the second braid, I am much better at the spin, but I'm gonna mix it with this, and it's got colors like purples and some golds, and it just got some really interesting colors. So I think that mixed with this kind of a gray mute of it will go well, because it's got pinks and it's got blue. So I'm hoping it'll add a splash. I don't know what we're hoping for. Again, I'm a new spinner, so I can't promise that my thought processes will always translate to actual things. But I'm not mad at it. I'm just trying to get ready so I can be able to spin my Merino silk that I got at Stitchin, and it's in the colorway Poppy Seed. Speaking of spinning and materials that I got at Stitching, I have in the past mentioned that I also do drop spindle. That's how I learned. It was the gateway drug, if you will. And there's been some movement on that. Not a whole lot. I'm very close to being done with the second single. So, I'll take it. But here we are. Separated now. I don't know when that happened, but okay. So as you can see, this is a chunky one. Chunky boy. And it's just your basic drop spindle. This is the colorway. It's very purple, maroons, and silvers. This is the colorway Storm. Yeah, this is what we're working with, and I am very close to being done with it, so I can then ply it together. My hope, and I don't know if I'll be able to achieve it, is to use the singles but ply them on the nano. I got to do a little bit of research before I go that far to screw it up, but I got some overspinning on this. This is still technically practice. I don't know what's going on here, but I'll fix it later. This is also a work in progress, but I have gotten some movement on it, which I'm very happy about, because there for a while I hadn't touched it. Okay, that being said, I don't always get a chance to work on the scrap blanket. The dog is right here, and so he is not happy I just put this bag on him. Like beside him. I'm trying not to wiggle the table because you're on a boom arm and it's wobble. So I do have my scrap blanket, and I did a little bit of work on it about a week ago. Probably need to work on it some more in the next week or so. Sorry if I just bumped that. My microphone is right here. The only place I can find to put it. I did buy a different microphone, and it's going back because it. I'd have to hold it the entire time, and it's huge. No, we'll just continue to use this. But this is, I'm not going to pull it fully away out because there's no need, but this is the scrap blanket. It's literally scraps from old projects that I'm just corner to cornering. All it is. But I have made some movement on it. I do something different than some people who do the scraps. Some people just leave them in like little balls or like hanks or whatever. I literally take them all up. They are both all tied. They're magic knotted together and then caked up. Literally, that's all I do. But I have totes of them because I've had so many projects. I never did anything with them. There for a while I was doing like granny squares, and I do have a bag of granny squares that I need to do something with. If anybody is interested and needs a quick gift and you want to maybe piece together some granny squares, let me know. Got some colors. Got a whole bunch of colors. One day I might, if you're interested, I'll show you the colors and the granny squares that are available. So I mentioned that there's a few side quests. This one has probably been my hyperfixation, and that is I am doing an embroidery project. And if you can't tell, it is on a sweatshirt. I have been obsessed with off the shoulder sweatshirts since I've been working out. I love my shoulders. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm being vain, but I put a lot of effort into my weight loss and into muscle building and toning, and I'm very proud of my shoulders and my arms, and I want to stay warm because yes, I do get cold all the time, but I also want to look cute, and it is what it is. A girl needs to feel good sometimes. And I saw this is not a novel idea that I came up with. I saw some person, some creator on TikTok do it, and I'm like, mine. Um, my next project, I mean, please note. So I am a cross stitcher. I'm not an embroiderer, so I'm learning as I go. So the stitches aren't, perfect and uniform, and I don't care. It's for me. I'm not selling it. It's mine. But I'm making a shirt that's for my books. Because as you guys know, those that don't, well, now you do. I'm fairly heavily tattooed on my arms, mostly. I have 2 tattoos here, but the rest are all on my arms. And sometimes when you're cold, you can't show off your trauma stickers. So I'm also a book reader of the smutty variety. So I want to have a shirt that is like a tattoo sleeve for the books I read, also known as trophies. Because of course you keep the books on the shelf; those are your trophies too. But I want to walk around with my trophies. So I found just a design on Pinterest. This is the book dragon, and underneath it's going to say Book Dragon Trophies. On the back is probably on the shoulder or maybe on the hemline. I don't know yet. It's going to say one more chapter, and then I'm going to find different things that mean something for the book I've read, and I'm going to stitch it up the arm. If it goes well, which, spoiler alert, so far it's going well, I plan to do another one of these for a show that I adore. My friend already knows what I'm talking about, so Julie knows of what I speak, and I'm hoping I can get it done before next year. It'll happen, but whatever. I did find out because I've sized down a bit because I have lost over 150 pounds, and I've sized down, and I wear about an extra large shirt, and sometimes those are still a little bit big on me. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick with an extra large. It'll be a little maybe it'll be just right. This is a little oversized. It's almost as if it was a 2X. So when I do the other shirt, it's going to be probably a large, just cause. Um, I do want to share with you my needle minder though, because recently I'm a child of the 80s, 90s. I was born in 1980, and I grew up with Care Bears and Fraggles and He-Man and She-Ra, you name it. I grew up with them. Strawberry Shortcake, but also Rainbow Bright. And last week, the creator of Rainbow Bright did pass away, so I have a needle minder for Rainbow Bright. I love it. Rainbow Bright and the Star Stealer was the movie that I like to torture people with. It's great. Um, yeah, that's it. But this is going actually fairly well. The stitches, they are what they are. It's all satin stitch. See if I can get it up here so you guys can see. Probably very bad videography going on right now. It is what it is. But it doesn't look bad. There's not any stitches that are super obnoxiously loose or anything like that. So I'm calling it a win. And I am gonna have to probably do something for the back. So it does have an interfacing or whatever it's called on the front. It dissolves with water. Stabilizer, I think is the right term. Any embroidery people out there? Just be nice, okay? Just leave me kind comments, okay? I'm learning as I go. As I said, I'm a cross-stitcher by craft, not an embroiderer. But I mean, it doesn't look too bad in the back. There are some spots that are maybe a little rough, but I figure if I can get like a thin fabric and maybe just iron it around it, maybe that'll be okay. We'll figure it out. Cross that bridge when we get there. And what I'm learning here is the things that I'll be able to tweak on to the other parts, so it'll be fine. I'm not mad at it. I'm actually quite happy with how this is going on, but it is my hyperfixation. The spinning has, so drop spindle has a different muscle group than the e-spinner, and I learned that real quick. It sometimes hurts right here and it hurts right here because I'm gotta try not to have a death grip, but sometimes this just hurts. So I'm not going to work on spinning for the rest of the night. I did it some earlier today. I'm not going to do any more today because I'm tired of over twisting it. It'll be a problem for tomorrow. I'll work on that tonight afterwards and whatnot. The last side quest that I do have is I did do some planting outside. And yes, I know frost date in 7B has not yet come. I'm okay with that. But I have three or four planters in the front, and I put some flower seeds out there. I have some sprouts. I wasn't expecting some sprouts, but I got some sprouts. In the back, I did plant some flower seeds in the whiskey barrel. So far, nothing. I am combating, however, squirrels in the backyard, and they like to go digging for treasure. It is what it is. They keep digging through my lime tree pot. We're going to see if the lime tree survived. I did, however, start some vegetable plants. I started, I know these aren't vegetables, some basil, some white sage, some cucumbers, tomatoes, bell peppers, and maybe some strawberries. We're going to see if any of them survive because literally 2 days after I did that, we dropped 20 degrees in temperature because it was like 70, almost 80 degrees, and then it was back to 50s, and then back up to 70s, and then back down to 50s, and then we got tornadoes on Friday night. And welcome to Oklahoma. As Will Rogers says, if you don't like the weather, stay a minute or stay a while. I'm paraphrasing, but you get the idea. It's going to change. So here we are. Inside planting, I will take you on a tour, and I'll insert it here. All right, let's take you on a tour of the grow rack to show you some of the changes that have been coming through. It looks a little more bright and airy from the last time you guys saw it, and that's because I've moved most of the succulents to the window because they were getting choked out by some of these plants. I only have 2 active decks, so we're just going to start at the top one. My bell peppers are over here, hiding, but look, they're belling. There's so many peppers. There's some back here too on this other plant. There's at least one. So I've got that going on. This is a pepper plant as well, and he's just now getting ready to start budding. He's got some buds on there. They're trying to focus. There's another pepper plant back here, and it's flowering as well, so it's got some buds. There it goes. This is a new acquisition. This is my string of raindrops. Yeah, string of raindrops. It's a new succulent. We're going to see if I can control it any better than I controlled any of the other ones. Down here on the lower deck is a tomato plant, and as you can see, this tomato plant goes from here, and it just climbs all the way up. But there's no tomatoes on it. There were 2. I think it's like a Roma variety. It had 2. I took them off because it was time. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. And then on this one right here, this plant right here, this is a sugar rush peach pepper. And of course, it's reaching for the sky. So it's coming up here. But it's got some, it's getting ready to start budding as well. So, yeah, look at that. Cute little buds. They're so adorable. I'm hoping this time with the sugar rush it goes a little bit better. The last time I got like a handful of peppers and then the plant decided to go, nah. So far, we're doing a lot better because the last plant did not get anywhere near this big. This sucker's huge. As you can see, this one does have some. I was trying to grow some other things. It never did anything. They're just there. I'm not even messing with them. This poor succulent, I think, is a change since the last time you guys saw. He decided he wanted to keep trying to fall over. So he is in a much larger pot, and I'm hoping that doesn't destroy him. But he's trying to take over the world. And so I've got him like caged in. And anytime a petal falls, I'm trying to propagate it. So I apologize, my filming skills suck. But here are the other ones. This is another problem child. This is my original. And she's just a problem child. She's doing whatever she does. I don't know anything about succulents, and I don't know if this is supposed to do this or not. So here we are. I don't know if you guys can see the little blinking lights out there. That's my fairy lights in my whiskey barrel out there in the fire pit. Let's see, more. That's another of mine, and then I have another one over there. But all of my, yeah, this is the grow rack, as it were. Looks like a little jungle in here, and I'm okay with that. I like my little jungle. But that is the grow update, and I hope you stick around for more grow updates. If there's anything you want to know about hydroponics, I'm not an expert, but I do really well with peppers. Peppers are the easiest thing to grow, guys. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do keep them alive. So tomatoes and I don't get along very well. I usually get like 1 or 2 tomatoes, and that's it. Peppers I do really well. Basil sometimes I do really well, but I have basil outside this year. So anyway, but if there's anything you'd like to know, comment hydroponic or hydro in the comments, and let me know what your question is, or if you want to see more. I don't know how much more, but I've had to learn everything I've got by trial and error. This one right here was my first one. And just like any other hobby out there, you can't just stop there. You got to collect them all. And I did. I've actually had to get rid of one machine, and I replaced it with the in bloom. And I'm not a huge fan of my in bloom because, yeah, sure, you have a lot of spaces to grow, but you really can only viably do like one, maybe two, depending on what you're growing. Same thing with all these others. I only have one in this one in this one, and 2 in that one in that one, and 1 in that one. So, I mean, typically in my little arrow garden sprout, I usually try to do 2, like a basil and a whatever, but yeah, when tomatoes take over, the world ends. And as you can see, I'm not the greatest with tomatoes because they don't look super lush. There are some spots that do. I think that's actually a pepper, never mind. But there are some spots that don't look too bad. And then some spots that look like someone tried to set them on fire. Okay. Anyway, that's the grow rack. That's where we stand right now. It's green. It makes me happy. So I hope you guys find something that makes you happy. Back to your other updates. That's the tour of my grow rack. I've done some things, so as you saw. That's all my whips, my partial finished objects, my PFOs. I don't really have any plans. You saw the acquisitions that led to side quests. I am still listening to the Buttons series. I'm on Buttons and Hate. Here's the thing about that series and how they recorded it. Yes, they paid two voice actors to record it. Great. A male for the male version or male chapters and the female for the female chapters. However, they had the male in his male chapters do the female voice. Excuse me, what? No. And of course, she does the male voice, and I'm like, you are already paying these actors to read this book. Couldn't they just duetted it or done their lines and filled in and someone edited it? So it's been a rather hard listen. Buttons and Lace was that way, and I just kind of struggled through it. Buttons and Hate is doing the same thing. I'm not sure if I'll get through Buttons and go to Buttons and Shame. I've read these books already, so it's not like I'm missing out on anything. I might just go ahead and go to the Throne of Glass series. I don't know yet. I did start Scythe and Sparrow on audiobook. I need to go back to it because I did enjoy listening what I have listened to so far, and I would like to have finished that entire series of the Ruinous Love trilogy. I probably will. So, music wise, I am just collaborating with my family on what's called a Rocklahoma playlist. So we are planning to go. There's a rock music festival every Labor Day weekend. It used to be in Memorial Day, and then they moved it to Labor Days. It is a rock fest, 3 days, technically 3 and a night of rock music in Pryor, Oklahoma, at the Rocklahoma Festival grounds. And this will be my 3rd year going. So we decided that we're going to put together a playlist to get to know some of the bands that we're not aware of, and of course put the bands that we are really interested in. So we've been listening to that. I did find a song so far from one of the bands that I like. It was Undead by Hollywood Undead. Okay. I have also been working on building my spicy playlist. If you're interested, just comment below spicy playlist, and I'll link it for you. It's a public playlist for anyone. So yeah, if you're interested in that, just let me know. But be prepared, because much like wanting to know what a female reads and not following up with what type of books, you have to buckle up, because like I said, it's spicy, and some of the songs are super spicy. Like super spicy. So you were warned. I think we've gone through everything. I hope you had a chance to get a little bit of sleep this past weekend, today, because it was spring forward. We did lose that hour. I will say I will take the loss of the hour to have the gain of sunlight longer, because I do enjoy that. If we could just keep this activated the whole time, I'd be even happier with that too. Oh well. I think we're pretty much good at this point. I have covered everything. I don't really have a question of the week for you. If there's anything that you would like to know, or maybe tips or tricks or questions that are my best practices that I'm learning as a brand new spinner, because there's going to be, or if you have anything you want to share for a brand new spinner or embroiderer, that one might be taken with a grain of salt. Share them, because I appreciate them. I think I'll leave you here. Keep it crafty, keep it chaotic, but keep it kind. Have a great one.